guys, is the brand new 6.8 Bellows Shad from G-Crack USA. This bait right here is in collaboration between Major League Fishing pro Alton Jones Jr. and the Homeless Fisherman. This guy is coming in again at that 6.8 inches, so this is a brand new size for the Bellows Shad. You know, one of those amazing things about the Bellows Shad is that it's very, very versatile. Now, once you get up to this size, it's a little bit less versatile, especially, you know, since you can't really put it on a normal swim jig or a normal chatterbait. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about different ways to rig it up and kind of give you a little insight about the Bellows Shad 6.8. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, figured I'd bring you in nice and close here so we can get a good look at this brand new Bellows Shad. Now, we've got a bunch of different colors coming. Of course, we're gonna have the signature Homeless Fisherman color, Pink Lemonade, as well. These are gonna be coming 2 to a pack. I don't quite have the pricing on that quite yet, but hopefully in the meantime, I'm going to start building out the listing online, like pertackle.com, figure out a drop date for y'all. This one right here is Electric Shad, one of my personal favorite colors. You know, Electric Shad in general, especially like that Kitech Electric Shad, one of my absolute favorites. So 2 to a pack, guys. Let's go ahead and weigh it right here for y'all. For those of y'all that like ounces, it's going to come in at 1.35 ounces. For those of you that like grams, it looks like it's just about 40 grams. So little bit heftier bait. Now, when it comes to rigging this monstrosity, there's lots of different ways to do it. And we're gonna show you a couple of those. You know, obviously you can do a lot of things with it. You know, Texas rig it, Carolina rig it. You can do all those simple things. Of course, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about the terminal that I like to use, as well as maybe some ways that you haven't seen it rigged before. So, you know, kicking it off, probably one of the most versatile ways and easy ways to fish this is going to be on a Nico rig or Neko rig, depending on how you want to say it. Now, these right here are the Nico hacks from G-Crack. These are made to puncture straight through your plastic of choice and allow you to get your hook into your bait and have it not tear up. Now, the Nico hacks, they come in bulk packs, they come in standard packs, they come in clear/white, and then they also come in a black variety. So for the 6.8 Bellows Shad, I have found that the large Nico hack is going to be the one that you want to fish. And another thing about this bigger profile bait is you're going to need to size up your hook just a little bit. You don't have to use ultra heavy line though. This bait really shines on a little bit lighter line, especially in more clear water situations. But if you don't really have a choice, you don't have a different rod to throw this on, and I definitely suggest a bait caster. You can do this on a spinning rod and reel, but it's going to be very, very cumbersome on you. When it comes to rigging this on a Nico rig, I definitely urge you to go at least 50% of the way down or closer to the head. Now, with a Nico rig, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't, the lower you go, the more tail weight this is going to have, and it's going to feel like it's dragging. So when you pull this bait and you've got your nail weight or your nail and your Nico hack really, really low, and you pull it, right, it's going to flutter up like this. That tail's going to be dragging and have a lot of drag in the back, and then it's going to fall back down almost flat. Now, when you keep tension on it, it's going to raise just a little bit, but as you can see, this bait is very, very, I mean, cumbersome's not really the right word, but it's very, very flexible. So it folds over like this. So what I suggest doing is going about halfway up, right at the apex, the thickest part of the main body, and sticking that Nico hack right through the back. Now, I also suggest going perpendicular, or going, I guess, parallel with the bait, to where the Nico hack sits flat, like right in the middle there, and not teed up. I guess, yeah, parallel would be the right way to put that. So gonna go ahead, shove the Nico hack all the way in, making sure that the back of it is pressed up against the main body of the bait, and that will give me the best performance overall. And you can move those little Bellows tentacles around just like so. And right there, again, this is the large, and that hook hole is sticking I mean, just right outside the plastic. So as you can visualize here, when you stick your nail weight in, guys, and you pull, it's going to look like a bluegill going down and pecking around the bottom, just like this. So I definitely suggest going somewhere near the middle of the bait. And that's what most people do. You know, some people, like especially myself with smaller worms and thinner worms, I'll go a little bit higher up from time to time. Now, the two different hooks that I really enjoy using with this are going to be the really wide gapped style hooks. So this is the Ryugi Talisman, and this right here is the Owner Jungle Wacky. Two very popular hooks. Now, of course, the Talisman has the regular guard and the heavy guard. And then, you know, the Jungle Wacky has the standard Jungle Wacky, and then this is the Jungle Wacky Weedless. For simplicity purposes, let's show you the Jungle Wacky Weedless. And since it is such a heavy bait, you know, the weed guard's not going to actually do like a ton for this whole setup here. But again, the reason why I love the Jungle Wacky so much is look at that ultra wide gap. So when that fish sucks the bait in, you actually have a lot of hook gap to hook that fish. Now, I suggest a bigger hook than maybe what you're used to fishing like a drop shot or a normal Nico rig on. This is a 2/0, this is a 3/0. Anything above 2/0 is going to be pretty good. And right there, I didn't cut off the Nico hack, but as you can see, you've got a pretty good hook gap there. And don't be scared to even use some bigger hooks like 4, 5/0. You could probably even use something pretty close to like a standard wide gap hook and be pretty good and still get a really good hookup ratio. This is my preferred method. It's still very low profile. It looks good in the water. And again, as you pull this bait along, it's just gonna go boink, 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 and you don't need a ton of weight. You can almost fish this weightless, let it go down. Those bellows folds are gonna have a lot of natural action. Of course, if you do add a nail weight, I would do something like a 3/32 or maybe a little bit smaller. You don't need a ton of weight for this rig. That main head body is weighted, it's salted, it's got the SAF set, and it's gonna drive it straight down. Now, working it, I really just like a slow pull up, let it go down. Slow pull up, let it go down. Now, some of y'all, especially if you're like forward-facing sonar savvy, you can throw it out there and you can kind of twitch it along the bottom, especially making a lot of commotion. But the goal with this guy is to keep it near the bottom, especially just fishing an eco rig in general. Now, another great way to rig this bait is going to be on a weightless Texas rig. These guys right here, best hookup ratio you can get. It's not going to tear up your bait either. This is the Pro X hook. This is a 6/0 hook. I definitely suggest going at least bare minimum 6/0, 5/0, depending on the brand. Another great one, the Superline. These are a little bit thinner gauge hooks. The Superlines from Superline EWG from Gamakatsu. These are also really great as well. Now, when it comes to just a weightless Texas rig, guys, it's nothing special. You throw it out there, pull it, let it sink, pull it, let it sink. Great way to fish it. Of course, you can add a little bit more complexity to it with a little twitches, pulls, stuff like that. It's going to kind of not work like, it's not going to work like a weightless fluke, like you'd think. There's just so much resistance on this bait that as you pull it, it's almost just pulsing in the water, almost looking like a dead shad or a dead bluegill up on the surface, or struggling bluegill. Last way to rig this, guys, is on a free rig. We've got a bunch of these brand new, well, not brand new, but a new shipment of the quick change weights from Owner Cultiva. These are also made for free rigging. So the free rig with this is absolutely incredible. Having that heavier weight, starting at like that 1/4 ounce sizing and going up, you're able to really pinpoint where this bait drops. Again, with that nice slow-ish natural fall into the water, and you're able to keep it there, which is a huge plus. Now, obviously, the Texas rig, you can add some weight, do this, do that. But the reason why the Bellows material and G-Crack in general that has a lot of resistance in the water, why it's so good for a free rig, is because of that resistance. It can really sit there, stall out, and float, and naturally flutter down like a dying bait fish. Overall, this thing's pretty robust. Again, pretty heavy. I definitely suggest a rod in that heavy range, that medium heavy plus as a minimum, moving up into that heavy, faster style rod. Now, again, if you want to use a spinning rod, you probably can use a spinning rod. You're just going to need a very, very heavy style spinning rod. I do think you can top out the length of rod on this bait. I would highly suggest staying below at least like a 7.7, 7.6 is really the maximum I would throw it. It has a lot of rebound, it has a lot of air resistance, and typically with the longer style rods, especially if there's a little more parabolic bend, is you'll get that whiplash effect where when you cast out, that rod bends, flexes back, and you're going to get a lot of backlashes. So this is going to be like, you know, my key rod, 7'4", probably heavy, fast action. It's going to be what I'm using with this. So that right there, guys, 6.8 Bellows Shad from G-Crack. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be on the lookout for the drop time on the social media, and I'll definitely post that up on the YouTube as well. Before we do it, we might wait just a little bit as well. I know a lot of other retailers are going to be getting these, so we might just hold off, let y'all know for sure, make sure everyone gets a chance at these. And I've got a lot of questions about the Crackdown swim bait, quite possibly a new mag draft killer. Absolutely incredible. I went out fishing with Anthony from Tackle Shack Houston, and he absolutely slayed on it. So be on the lookout for some content on his channel as well. But that right there, 6.8 Bellows Shad, checking it out here at Like Pro Tackle. And we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.